If you are ever driving alone at night and you reach a bridge, do stop on it. Whatever happens, whatever reason your brain gives you to pull over and get out and look over that railing, do not do it. I stopped on a bridge at midnight 3 weeks ago. I looked over the railing, and something from the water below looked back up at me and started climbing. My name is Ryan. I am 34 years old. I am a single father. My daughter Lily is 6 years old. She is the only person in my life who matters more to me than anything I can name. I am telling you this story because last Tuesday Lily came home from school with a drawing her teacher had sent home with a note saying she was concerned. I looked at that drawing and I understood that whatever I encountered on that bridge 3 weeks ago has been coming to my daughter's window at night, and my daughter has been letting it in. This is what happened. 3 weeks ago on a Thursday night, I was driving home from a work conference 2 hours away. Late finish. Dinner ran long. By the time I got on the road, it was 11:30 p.m. I am a project manager. I make that drive 6 or 7 times a year. I know the route completely. There is one section I have always found slightly uncomfortable, a long bridge about 40 minutes from home that crosses a wide river valley. No lights on the bridge itself. Steep drop on both sides. The kind of bridge that feels longer than it is at night because the darkness on either side of the road gives you no reference points. You are just driving through black air with the road beneath you and nothing else. I've crossed that bridge dozens of times. I have never stopped on it. Not once in all the times I have driven it. That Thursday night my car stopped itself. Not broke down. Not ran out of fuel. The engine was running. The lights were on. Everything was functioning exactly as it should. But at approximately the midpoint of the bridge, the point farthest from either bank, the car rolled to a stop as if a hand had gently applied the brake. I tried the accelerator. Nothing. The engine was running, but the car would not move. I tried reverse. Nothing. I sat in the middle of a bridge at midnight with my engine running and my car completely unresponsive. No other traffic. No lights on either shore. The bridge railing on both sides of me, and below the railing nothing visible except darkness all the way down. I got out. I know that was the wrong decision. I know every person listening to this is thinking, why did you get out of the car? I have asked myself the same question 300 times since that night. The honest answer is that I am a practical person and I thought it was a mechanical issue and I needed to look at the engine. That is the complete truth. Nothing more dramatic than that. I got out of the car. I walked around to the front. I lifted the bonnet. Everything under the bonnet looked exactly as it should. I stood there for a moment looking at a functioning engine that was refusing to move a functioning car. Then I heard something. From below the bridge, from the river valley, below me on the right side of the road. Breathing. Not the sound of water. Not the sound of wind through the valley. Breathing, the specific rhythm of a living thing. Drawing air in and releasing it. Slow, measured, patient. Coming from directly below where I was standing. I walked to the bridge railing on the right side. I want to be completely honest about what I was thinking at this moment, because I think it matters. I was not thinking about supernatural explanations. I was thinking, there is someone in the valley below. Someone who has fallen. Someone who needs help. That is the kind of thinking that gets people into trouble. I leaned over the railing and looked down. The drop was significant. 40 feet, perhaps. 50. Below the bridge, the river valley was pure darkness. No moonlight reaching the bottom. No lights from any structure nearby. I could not see anything, but I could still hear the breathing. Directly below me, in the darkness. Then I heard something else. A sound that I cannot fully describe even now. The closest I can get is, imagine the sound of something large moving against a wet vertical surface. Something with enough grip to hold its weight against the underside of a bridge structure. Something that had been below me in the darkness and was now beginning to move. Upward, toward me. I stepped back from the railing. The sound continued, getting louder, getting closer. The sound of something climbing the underside of the bridge structure toward the railing. I had just been leaning over, getting closer and closer. I ran to my car. I got in. I turned the key. The engine that had been running perfectly for the past 10 minutes now, engaged as if nothing had ever been wrong. The car moved immediately. I drove off that bridge without looking in my mirrors. I drove the remaining 40 minutes home without stopping. I checked on Lily when I got in. She was asleep, her nightlight on, a stuffed rabbit under her arm. Everything exactly as I had left it when I kissed her goodnight before the conference. I stood in her doorway for a long time. Then I went to bed. I did not tell anyone about the bridge. I am a single father. I have learned to process things alone and keep moving because there is always something the next day that requires my full attention. Lily's school run, work, dinner, the specific relentless forward motion of raising a child alone. I told myself it was a combination of engine trouble and an animal in the river, valley below, and the specific way an exhausted brain hears things at midnight on an empty bridge. I took a different route to work the following day, and the day after, and every day since. I was doing a very good job of not thinking about the bridge until last Tuesday. Lily came home from school on Tuesday with her bag over one shoulder and her lunchbox in her hand the way she always does. She seemed fine, normal, happy even. Her teacher, Mrs. Alcott, had sent a note home in her reading folder. The note said that Lily had produced a drawing in art class that morning that Mrs. Alcott found concerning in its content and felt I should be aware of. I took the drawing out of the folder. I want to describe it carefully because every detail matters. It was done in crayon the way 6-year-olds draw. Simple shapes, limited perspective, everything flat. A blue strip across the bottom of the page, which I understood immediately, was water. A grey horizontal structure above the water, which I understood was a bridge. A road on the bridge. A car on the road. A stick figure standing beside the car at the railing. Below the bridge in the blue water, a figure looking up at the stick figure on the bridge. I sat down slowly. I recognized the bridge, the specific shape of the railing, the curve at either end where the bridge met the land, the width of the valley below it. Lily had never been to that bridge. It is not near our home. It is not on any route we take together. I have never shown her photographs of it. I have never described it to her. I have never told her about that Thursday night. I called her into the kitchen. I asked her where she had seen the bridge in her drawing. She looked at me with those 6-year-old eyes that have not yet learned to edit what they say. She said, "The lady showed me." I said, "Wait, what lady, Lily?" She said, "The lady who comes to my window." I sat completely still. I said, "Lily, what lady comes to your window?" She said it in the completely casual tone of a child describing something entirely normal to them. She said, "The wet lady. She comes at night. She stands outside my window and she looks in." She said, "She's very tall. And her hair is very long and very wet." She said, "She showed me the bridge because she wanted me to draw it for you." I said, "How long has she been coming to your window?" Lily thought about it. She said, "Since you went away for work that night." "Since the Thursday of the conference." "Since the bridge." I said, "Lily, does the lady ever say anything?" Lily nodded. She said, "She told me to tell you something." I said, "What did she tell you to tell me?" Lily looked at me steadily. She said you dropped something." I said, "What did I drop?" Lily said, "She didn't say. She just said you dropped it when you ran. And she has been keeping it safe for you. She said she wants to give it back." I said, "How does she want to give it back?" Lily pointed at the window above the kitchen sink. She said she's going to bring it tonight. I said, "Lily, has the lady ever come inside?" Lily shook her head. She said, "Not yet. She says she needs you to open the window first." She said she's been very patient. I put Lily to bed that night at her normal time. I kissed her goodnight. I checked the locks on every window and every door in the house. I sat at the kitchen table until 3 a.m. Nothing came to any window. In the morning, I looked at the drawing again. I'd been so focused on the bridge and the figure in the water that I had not looked carefully at one specific detail. The figure in the water below the bridge, looking up at the stick figure on the railing. I looked at it now under the kitchen light with my reading glasses on. Lily had drawn a face on the figure in the water. A simple crayon face. 6-year-old art, 2 dots for eyes. And a mouth. A wide smile, drawn with a red crayon. All the way across the face and slightly beyond, where a normal mouth would end. Too wide, too far. The kind of smile that is not right. I looked at that drawing for a long time. Then I heard Lily coming downstairs for breakfast. I looked up. She was standing in the kitchen, doorway in her pajamas, with her rabbit under her arm. She was smiling. I looked at her smile, and something in my chest went very cold. Her smile. This morning was the same smile, the one in the drawing. Wide. Too wide. Going slightly further than it should. She said, "Good morning, Daddy," in her voice. In Lily's voice, exactly as she always says it. Except that she was still smiling that smile while she spoke, and her eyes were not looking at me. They were looking past me, at the kitchen window. I turned around slowly, on the outside of the kitchen window, pressed against the glass, 2 hands, long fingers, dripping wet, and behind the hands in the grey morning light, a face, close to the glass, smiling, the same smile, looking not at me, at Lily. And Lily was smiling back.